Okay, let's call this meeting to order. Out of respect, please turn off cell phones and remove all hats. Anybody recording? I'll be recording. Okay. Speak from the order.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the minutes as written?
Motion to approve as written.
I'll second that.
Second by Mark. Let's have a vote on that. Hand. Raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next is gonna be board correspondence, and that's gonna be a letter written by Lucy McGuire.
Excuse me, real quick, is anybody recording?
Yeah.
Okay,
We can't hear over here.
okay.
How's that?
That better?
You guys speak up.
Okay, correspondence. August 12th, 2021. I request the following letter to be read at the next board meeting scheduled for August 18th, 2021. I have concerns regarding the integrity of Brookridge's voting system. Due to multiple inconsistencies which occurred up through March 15th, 2021, I request the presiding board members review and implement safeguards to avoid the same problems reoccurring. It can start by following Florida Statute 211 board election by ballot, which stipulates the larger envelope which identifies the voter not be separated from the smaller envelope holding the ballot until tabulation of the vote count actually begins. I understand that once the larger envelope is received by mail or dropped off, it can and should be identified and marked as received. What seems to have been the accepted practice is to separate both envelopes, and only the small ballot envelope gets put into the secured ballot box. At this point, it wouldn't benefit anyone to rehash what transpired with the ballot box this past March, which jeopardized the integrity of each vote. Another concern. A piano hinge was going to be used on the box, so screws were on the inside. And also a multiple lock adapter was to be put in place so that more than one person would be holding each a different key to the ballot box. Was this done this past year? Will it be done this year? Another question. Will there be a one-day opportunity to vote at the clubhouse? My summation. We all agree the integrity of the voting process is important. If there are concerns, then it's for the present board members to seriously review these concerns and take whatever steps necessary to adhere to the state statutes to assure all ballots are safely handled and counted. A final thought. What would it cost to have all cast ballots be mailed directly to an outside agency that would validate the voter and tabulate the final count? Is the agency which has been tabulating the electronic votes able to manage such? And this sincerely, Lucille DeGuire, Brookridge resident. I'd like to make a motion that the outer envelope remains intact until the election committee tabulates the votes.
I'll second it.
Open for discussion?
I'd like to take this into consideration before we do that, because we need to know exactly why they're taken out. And I was looking, Mary Sweeney is not here tonight. Mary could be, because Mary's been doing it forever. I'd like to put it in consideration and bring it up at the next meeting, so we have the
Excuse me?
information.
Over here, excuse me. Also, I do believe that a motion cannot be made during correspondence. It would need to be put on the agenda as such.
That,
According to SOP, yes, it can.
Okay?
okay.
2.3, correspondence, thereby allowing board discussion and motions as applicable.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Okay. Well, I'd like to take it into consideration before we take a vote on this.
Well, let's have comments.
Yep, that's my comment.
Can I speak up on that? I was there when the box was compromised. Were you, anybody else there? Who was there with the box on the board? Who was there? Raise their hand.
It doesn't matter if there was board members.
I asked the question. Who was there when the box was compromised with being Sweeney? Nobody, right?
No board members.
Rest my case.
Okay,
In regards to that, I'd just like to, in regards to that, it wasn't just two people there. There were, I'm not sure who else was there. The GM is not here this evening. Greg or Arlene, do you know who else was there when they did whatever they did?
Okay, one answer.
Which time?
We'll say right about 5:50, between 5 and 5:15 when I was calling the report there.
You're looking at multiple incidents over multiple days, so to rehash this is gonna take
Right.
a lot of time.
That's fine. I got time.
We'll take that into
We got a lot of time.
that's up to the president.
You gotta do things right. It's for the people.
Please don't.
Okay, I have a comment. If we keep the outer envelope with the resident's address on there, no matter what compromising situation comes up, the integrity of that ballot will be there. This is how they do it at the presidential election. I understand that there is some pushback.
Please, people, no comments. Let her speak.
I understand that there's some concern that somebody might have a assessment check in there. It doesn't belong in there. It shouldn't be a reason to take off that outer envelope. So I'm thinking, I want to have as safe an election or a budget vote as possible. Either way, they can still be logged in. They can still be batched in 25 or 50, whatever they do. And they can still be opened by the election committee at tabulation. That's all. I think it would improve the board's transparency, whatever. Integrity, yes, thank you.
I would still like to bring this on to, you brought up some good points, Val, but I would really still like to hear from the people who have run the elections all these years, and we can find out, the board can find out why it is done this way. My take was that it was to see who was voted, especially when they have the online votes also. So they had to tabulate as they came in who voted. Now, it could be done by the envelopes, I'm not sure, but I would rather just hold off until, it's just my opinion, until we can discuss this further and find out why it is done that way. It's just my opinion.
Any other comments?
Yes, one other comment. There's 7 of us members on this board. And it seems like there's 3 of us that are always out of the decision-making and thought process on a lot of things. It seems like we're not even part of the board, and I would like for this to stop happening.
That is something that you should take up with the president. it is, you know, that is not something
Are
that
you,
should.
are you speaking for him?
No, I'm just saying, as a past president, that, you know, that's something that members would speak to the president about if there was a problem there. And I think that's a good discussion to have with him.
All right, I will.
That
talk
has
you
nothing to
about-
do with what is going on with the vote right now.
I
That would be
understand
more of
that.
a member comment.
Rosemary, what's your thoughts?
I believe, since I've been part of the election committee for a number of years and served on the, and I've been on the board for 10 years, I think having the election committee chairperson have a discussion with her is how the protocol is done.
Larry?
I think the election committee chairperson too, is that Mary Sweeney?
Yes.
I think she ought to be involved in it too. I don't think it should be just us. I'd like to know. Is this was last year the only year we've had trouble?
No.
That,
Okay.
we want, well,
Well,
That is for more
I shouldn't have
discussion.
said- I shouldn't have said trouble either.
yeah, I wouldn't consider things trouble. There was a mistake made in the past. But in the 7 years I've lived here, this year was the first year that it was really questioned.
Well, I would like to go for a vote. The letter was presented, and I think it details quite a bit. I think it's a simple solution as opposed to paying money to have an outside source. And being that it is good enough for, and we've had this letter, you know, we've had our agenda, so we've known that this issue was gonna come up. So we had to been thinking along these lines. I'm thinking of a cost-free solution. That's what we're here for. Solutions, saving our members money, giving them the integrity of their vote. So I would like to put it to a vote, please.
Can I say one more thing before you do that? I would like to see, and I don't believe it happens this way, and I think it has in the past, but I think a resident should be able to put their ballot in the box. And I don't think that happened last year.
No.
I think they were turned in to the office, and the office took, as we say, the outside envelope off, correct?
No, the office.
The outside envelope, didn't that come off at that time?
No,
Then-
that goes in the envelope, and then, how does that go? Does Mary come up and, if you can explain,
Could I say something right here?
Of course.
Let's have explanation from Paul at work, because he's in some of this. You know
no,
what I'm saying?
let out, Paul's not saying anything. Let Arlene, because Arlene's been
Sweeney
here.
is in charge of the
That's right,
committee.
Yeah.
Mary Sweeney should be the one that speaks for the committee.
that's right.
I think, my opinion, I think we should wait till Mary Swain's here and get, and cross it.
Which might not be in time for this budget vote.
It's on, the
What
budget,
time?
the budget vote comes in, the budget vote comes in November. I'd like to move the question, I'd like to move the motion for a vote.
Okay, we're still,
Those in favor?
those in favor of voting for this, raise your right hand and say aye.
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 I thought we wanted Mary Sweeney to converse with us.
There's a motion on the floor, it wasn't taken off. There's a motion on the floor, Val made the motion, you seconded the motion.
Right.
The motion is to act on this letter right now.
And to keep the outer envelope.
Right, to keep the outer envelope, but that is the motion. There's nothing in here asking that the chairman of the election committee is involved in this particular motion. The comments from
Okay,
Ms.
we're calling for a vote.
That's
All
right.
those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
3-3.
Is it 3-3?
Three to
I'm
three.
abstaining from that vote.
You're abstaining from the vote?
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't pass then.
Please note, members, who's for your right?
Excuse me? I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said, please note, members, the vote.
Right, 3-3, 1 abstention.
Can we follow up though, Arlene, what was you gonna say on how it actually does go
Thank
through?
you.
Because I'm confused, I guess.
Okay, typically in the past, we had it's like a cardboard box, it says vote, it has a slot. We would keep it on the counter, the members would come in, and they would put their envelope, the outer envelope, with their address on it, their UBL on it, in that box. If we happen to notice that they didn't write their address UBL, we would say, please put it in. Some people put it in the drop box, and of course, we have no way of knowing who it was if it was not properly written out. But now, because everything is closed in, we have COVID, so we all have walls now, we have plexiglass. There was no way to keep an eye on it the way it was. So that cardboard box, we have a desk kind of in the area on the side. That outer envelope was handed to whomever was at the front desk, whether it was me or Vivian, whomever. We then stamp it, date it, we have a stamp, and then either Vivian or I or whoever was taking it, put it in that cardboard box. When I have 25, 50, for example, whoever the volunteers are, I would call them or they would call me, how many do we have? I would tell them, they would schedule a time to come in. Then I have a list, everybody's names alphabetically. Okay, then I would put all the envelopes alphabetically, batches, like Ms. Val said, 25, 50, whatever. Then the volunteers would come in, and I would give them all the envelopes that have been received. Then we have the brown wooden ballot box. Typically, it's kept here. Vince would bring it down for us. The locks were put on, signed, either by Mary Sweeney or whomever she designated at that time. So the volunteers come in, they take the outer envelope, they have an opener, right? And then first they look at, okay, Mr. Smith, he voted, and under Mr. Smith's name, it would get checked off, or an initial or a B for ballot, however they deemed it. Actually, last year we got voted, so they stamped it voted. Then they would open it, take the smaller envelope that says ballot, and then that would go in the wooden box. The envelopes were kept, they were rubber bands, and that's pretty much the procedure until the actual vote was over. Then the ballot counting that brown box of Mary Sweeney, Vince, or one of the code enforcement gentlemen, they bring the box up here, and then Mary and her group have the actual opening of those boxes. So that's why last year people were confused. Well, I can't put it in the in the cardboard box because it's kept in the back because we can't keep an eye on it. And we didn't want it just out in the lobby. It might walk off. So hopefully that answers your question.
I thought we were allowed to vote in the clubhouse as well. That we would come up here if we hadn't voted by mail yet or dropped it off at the office the day before, and there would be unit reps,
Right,
and they would have the logs.
For the budget.
Right, that's for the budget, that's correct.
Okay.
That is correct, yes. And also that day, the volunteers, usually it's the unit reps, they have the books, and say, Mr. Keller would come up, he would give his name, show ID, and then they would mark him off that day that he voted. And they would verify, okay, I don't see a check or a B next to his name, okay, you can vote. And they were handed the ballot at that point. And then it would get put in that brown wooden box.
Well, this coming up, and I should do that, the ballot box will be behind the counter again then? The cardboard box, or whatever?
Yes. I
Well,
mean,
then, would it be possible then to ask Mary Sweeney if, and I hate to ask other people in here, would that work? Could we have someone on that committee sit with the box out front so that you can put your own ballot in the box?
I mean, we
And
could,
I don't know, I'm just
somebody,
asking that question.
the unit reps, I mean, I can't speak for them, but
No, I
maybe
don't.
they could, volunteer a day and, okay, here's the box, well, I'll use Sandy as an example, if you don't mind. Sandy's there keeping an eye on that cardboard box that day, and this way, Mhm. Right, well, of course, you and your unit reps need to discuss that, but that might be a good idea if the members feel more comfortable actually putting it in the cardboard box themselves. If we have somebody keep an eye on it, that'd be great.
And then to carry it a little bit further, then when it's, closed, I guess at 4 o'clock,
Right,
then I would think that whoever maybe was there last, if this is possible to do, the volunteers would also then watch that box go into the GM's office and be locked up,
right, the actual wooden box, of course, yeah.
okay?
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that's questions and things I realize for the election committee.
Right,
because
of
I
course,
just-
if it is Mary this year, I assume it is,
Sure,
and I'm sure you could talk to her and again, see if she can get the unit reps, whomever to volunteer, of course.
The liaison to the election committee will do that.
Right, the liaison, okay.
But
Okay.
last year, we had a very secure system, we had triple locks, and yet the box was compromised. So if the outer envelope stayed with the ballot until such time as it was tabulating, there could be no
I'd like to,
tampering at all.
okay. That is an opinion that the box was tampered with. There was nothing to prove that the box was tampered with. So I want to go on record that is only an opinion of one of the board members, please.
And I want to say that that was not my opinion that the board was, that the box was tampered with. It's my opinion that we want to avoid the appearance of any tampering in the future. I'm not saying that it was tampered with.
Okay, I'll accept that, yes.
Any other discussion? Okay. Next is the president report. As we know, the pavement's been done this year. The two streets up there that were gonna be crowned, according to Billy, and I looked at those, and he was there when they were done, and he set the machine up, so he knows they were crowned. He's gonna cut the curbing on those two particular streets for that, to maybe drain the water. Also, they filled in where the street was out front here, and Billy's going to mark off the parking spaces, and those parking spaces will be handy. So we may have, we might lose one spot because he's gonna measure them exactly right for handicap, on that end of the building there. And then, of course, the rest of it across the front will be a golf cart on the park. And that's all I have. The next thing is treasury report, and that's from
okay, treasurer's report, this is as of July 21st. Total assessments were $99,026.82. Fines collected are $5,425. Interest income, $11.15. I'll spend it all in one place. Mowing, was $4,340. Screenings are $771.45. Late fees are $345. Stopple fee was $3,300. Pool pass is $210, and barcodes are $240, for net income of $113,669.42. In the expenses, expenses for the administration office for the month was $15,366.44. The facilities was $19,722.30. Public Works was $12,087. Code enforcement was $19,344.09 for total expenses of $66,433.70. Let's see. Our reserve balance is $2,119,135.88. Reserve deposit for January through July is $313,040. The budget is $447,200. Donated income is $1,015, for total amount in donated funds is $24,260.38. I guess that's all I can talk about.
Question? I had talked to you in the meeting, or before the meeting started, about, a couple banks that have over 250,000.
Yes,
You promised me, right?
yeah, I
that
did.
By the next meeting,
Yeah.
there won't be that?
No,
Okay, thank you, you promised that. Okay,
yeah, we're changing. What we have is, we have so much money in our accounts in the banks that we have, and they only insure them to $250,000. Well, we have money markets that have close to that in it, and we have CDs that have close to that in it now. So there's $400,000 in two banks or one bank?
Two.
Two banks. So I've got to get that down, but the one with the CD comes due the end of this month, and so it'll all work out, so it'll be under the 250, but I've got to get it done.
okay, I have one more question about this, budget expenses minus income.
Yeah, that's something I saw tonight too, and I don't ever have never seen that on there before. Our bookkeeper put that on there. I think, well, I know what she's doing. Jerry, you can verify if you would. I believe what she's doing is taking the income, we'll say for the administrative office, taking the income that comes in there, and then she is, minusing the expenses.
That's correct, that's exactly what she's doing, so if somebody gets a background check, she's taking off that of what the payroll is and everything, and that's how to get to $15,366.
And I think Jerry's talked to her, and I'm talking for you, Jerry, and I'm sorry,
I'm sorry,
but I believe that you and I don't agree with that. Am I right or am I wrong?
well, I just want to have the figures on there, I want people that easy to understand them, I don't know how, that figure is 66,433 for the month when you got almost $60,000 worth of payroll, you'd think that number would be a lot higher.
Right.
And it would be. That's the only difference when it comes to it.
Now, I know that the past boards had worked trying to get the members something easy to read, where it said income and expense, and listing the expenses or the income for donated funds and reserve accounts. And I think, according to the bylaws, the board adopts the rules, regulations, policies, and guidelines, not the bookkeeper. So do we need a vote? I mean, I agree with Larry and Jerry that I want income and expense.
Yeah.
Can we get that done?
Yeah,
They're working on it.
All right, by next month? Because
Hoping.
yeah.
we're going into budget season. We can't have people thinking that we only paid out 15,000. That's gonna, and that they only use 29% of their budget. Oh my gosh.
Well,
You're correct. That's, to me, that's misleading too, and I think Larry and we both understand that.
Okay.
That needs to be separate.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna go to unfinished business, which is the new tractor for public works, and that was tabled on the 21st. And Larry will be going out.
Okay, we had gotten bids three weeks ago from 3 companies because, Public Works was looking for a new mower.
Oh, excuse me, Larry, can you put your mic closer, please?
Yeah, I will.
Thank you.
You're welcome. At the, I can't remember when we did this. Anyway, we tabled this the last time we had a meeting because of, I didn't think that the, bid was done correctly. So we had it rebid. We're looking for a new tractor and 2 mower decks, and I'll explain that to you why. We are trading in 2 tractors with mower decks on them. The total that we're gonna get for those, and this wasn't in the last quote, that's why we redid it and tabled it. We're gonna get, the tractor, the 2 tractors he's turning in, they're gonna allow us both $4,200 on each. So we're turning in two, and we're gonna buy one new one. But like I said, two decks. The reason we're buying two decks, one deck will go on the new mower. The other deck will be used on the old mower, which he's keeping, that he now mows the retention ponds. That deck does not have a mulching kit on it. So when he mows, the grass just flows, it just blows right out, which is fine. There's nothing around a retention pond. But you can't do that on the boulevard. That's why we're buying two decks. He can swap that deck from one mower to the other, swap those decks out. So that second deck that we're buying will go on the mower that he's using now for the retention ponds. I hope that makes sense to people. Also, if in your paperwork, I think you probably have the bids. We had asked for 3 bids. We only got them back from 2 companies. The lowest bid again was the company over in Claremont called Fields. Their total bid with sales tax and everything is $33,596.81. If you look at the one from Everglades, and you look at it right at the bottom line is $36,397. However, they also have a $2,000 deposit. They want a down payment. So that would really bring that up to $38,397. So they're $5,000 high. That's why we're going, and the third one didn't want to take anything in on trade, so we never even got a bid back from that company. So here's my recommendation, is that we purchase a new John Deere tractor mower with a mower deck plus one extra mower deck. We received the 2 quotes, one from Fields being the best. So my motion is to approve the purchase of the John Deere 1580 terrain cut commercial tractor mower with the 2 mower decks with the mulch kits for $33,596.81 from Fields Equipment.
Second.
Can I get a question in here, real quick?
Any question?
I looked over, everything's fine with me, and being that we are who we are, we look under every penny we want to save. It says here, county, $50. Because somebody told me the county is getting $50 for it. I know it's not license plates. I'm asking for the bid, what the $50 is. We're giving them $33,500 as it is. What's $50?
I really don't know. I didn't notice that.
It's not license plates, it's not stickers, it's not company cost, it says county.
It's probably county tax, because see how it says state tax 6.0?
But there's no county tax figure.
Well, the county means the county tax, because if you see a lot of people, sorry, if I may, if you see a lot of vendors, when they break down their tax, they do state tax, a certain percentage, and then the county, whatever that percentage is. And like ours is what, 6.5, 6.75? So it'll be, for example, state tax 4%, county tax 2.5%. So I believe that's what that county amount is.
If you're looking at 6% of 1,800 and $50 is not even a tax in a sense. It could be what, 0.1 tax?
I mean, we can verify, but.
I have another thought on that now that you say that, Rich. The state tax would be Florida state tax. I wonder if that county tax is county tax in Claremont, or is that a county tax for here? I think it would be Claremont,
Where
too,
they're
so
based
I don't
out
know what
of.
it is.
It's where they're based out of.
Yeah.
I'd like to find out. I don't know, it's only $50, but I want to find out.
I'm gonna find out. I'll find out. I'll let you all know, because now you got me curious too. And I didn't read that. I wish I would.
Okay, on the bid, it does say 2 side discharge.
Yes, those both have the side, they have, if you read further, you'll see where the mulch kits are on, they're in there, what page, I'll tell you. Page 2.
Page 2,
On the bottom,
$783.
yeah. There's 2
I
of
see
the,
it.
see the mulch kits?
I do,
Okay,
I do.
all right.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of buying those tractors? That tractor, raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
I'm gonna abstain. I think we're spending too much money the way it is. All right, Jerry, I'll go for it.
Okay, going to new business, we're talking about tennis court, resurfacing, that's right, yeah.
Okay, the next thing I have are, our tennis courts need, resurfacing and restriping. Again, we've gotten bids from, I think there was three bids. The best one we got was from, Florida Courts Incorporated. They will resurface and restripe the tennis courts for us. The total cost is $13,240. That'll be paid out of the clubhouse pool, which takes care of everything outside of the clubhouse building, really. So that'll be paid out of their reserve fund. So the recommendation was to resurface and restripe tennis courts. 3 bids were received from vendors, with Florida Courts Incorporated having the best price. My motion would be to approve the resurface and restriping of the tennis courts, bid from Florida Courts Incorporated for $13,240.
Second.
Any discussion of that?
Will this, put in whatever's necessary so we can do pickleball? I saw that the lines would be there, but are there like holes or something for nets?
No,
No?
no. I'm looking at Vince and he's telling me no.
Well, the nets for the pickleball court, are going to be, they're gonna be a better net, and they'll be on wheels. And, portable, yeah. And Vince and the pickleball people, and Jerry, and we were there and they discussed it. So we've got a plan for that for October.
Okay, so we have a plan for that for October. Is the other 5 people on the board gonna know about this?
Yeah, he's gotta come forward with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just told the pickleball people that it wouldn't be until the fall. But because he has to get all of his information, and he wanted to get the tennis court redone first.
I have one question. Being a tennis court, I've been around many years looking at different things. Can we have this company give us a idea of what type of tennis shoe to wear, so nobody goes in there using regular street shoes to wear up these lines? This is important. The idea is that you don't wear a regular shoe playing football, you wear a proper shoe playing tennis. You don't wear an outside shoe because it rubs against the lines, hard leather sole. Gym shoes do not do that.
It's good, that's
We have
good.
to make sure that people are properly, with the right outfit. Not that I really care, but we get to pay for resurfacing.
Yeah, that can affect the resurfacing. Yeah,
It's not a bad question, it's what people do. You wear the proper shoe when you play tennis.
yeah.
It's like basketball. I'm sorry.
There's no reason to be sorry, you brought up a good point. Yeah. Okay.
Any other discussion with that? Okay, all in favor of that, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the ABCR appointment, and that's me. I think when, Brandy Sizemore put this in back in April, I think she wanted to be on the original thing was she wanted to be on the health committee, but, we had a problem with, having a quorum at the ABCR committee meeting, so we're gonna point into that. So we'll have enough for that. Anybody have Any discussion, I'll make a motion that we appoint him.
Brenda Seisman?
Yeah.
Ruby Esli? I'll second it.
Okay. Okay, any discussion about it? Okay, all in favor of appointing to the committee?
Okay.
Raise your right hand and say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Is Brenda here tonight?
No, yeah.
Oh, just. Yeah. Do you have the,
I don't have it with you.
okay, have you got it all?
Sure.
Okay.
Have you done?
Here you go.
Okay, Brenda, keep them up.
Mhm.
That you will in all acts government. In all acts, you will be governed by the principle of honesty, justice, and fair play. In every manner possible, endeavor to promote and safeguard the best interest of the citizens of Brookridge and the welfare of its membership. Do you swear?
I do.
Okay. You may lower your right hand. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay, the next thing we have is report of direction. I'll start doing that with Mark Keller.
Okay. Okay. First of all, I want to apologize for not voting my conscience about buying a truck and the new computers. I thought we were supposed to have an ad hoc committee on both these items, but apparently not. If I could, I would rescind my votes. I secondly want to add that the cost of these computers, in my opinion, should have been taken out of the operating fund. I also need to apologize for two members during the last workshop meeting that put down other members of this community, that gave their time and effort unselfishly to make this association work better and efficiently. They are Maria Story, Linda Walls, Benny Bruno, along with Val Stratton. If others would step up to the plate instead of complaining, this park would run smoother and better. After one of our board meetings, we had 3 members who were viciously, verbally abused, along with threats of bodily harm. This was done by a unit rep and another member. One of our members, who is crippled, wears a leg brace and
Okay, we
uses a
cannot have
walker.
that, we cannot have that in this, we cannot have, you put names out there like that.
I apologize to Debbie McMillan for this action by the 2 others. Also, we had 2 pages of SOPs taken out of the employee safety handbook, where an employee must wear a mask, wear safety glasses, steel-toed shoes, and hard hats while working. I'd like to see if these rules are being replaced with something else. I've seen nothing at this time. That's my report.
Mark, you said safety glasses, hard hats, and what was the other thing?
Steel-toed shoes.
Okay.
We were getting a discount with our insurance company because of that, because we had an employee safety program.
Okay, Val Stratton.
Okay, I wasn't here for the voting on the computers last meeting. I just want to say that on the reserve study in 2015, it does state on page 4.1 that management and the board inform us the association replaces the computers and equipment through the operating budget. So I believe that computers should be funded through the operating budget, especially in light of the admin only using 29% of their annual budget. So I did talk to Jerry and Gail this week, it was either Thursday or Friday, and it appears that there might have been an expense that that might balance it out and everything will be correct. So I'll be looking forward to following up to make sure that I check those numbers. For why the reserves are important to the members. The HOA budgets for operating reserve and other. And reserve fund items must meet 4 tests. Predictable replacement, limited useful life, it's the HOA's responsibility, and a minimal threshold cost. So that's what constitutes a reserve. When we spend our reserve fund savings for items not on this savings list, we'll have to repay that amount when we reevaluate our reserve study and they find that we're depleted or we're not meeting goal. So this increases our minimum monthly contribution to reserves. This isn't a vote. It'll increase our contribution to the reserves. So as a board, I stand by that I want to approve spending of reserves, not on items that are off the list, only on items that are on the list.
Okay, Rosemary?
Amen.
Okay, you ready? Ready? Yeah.
Thank you. Director's comments. At the August 3rd board meeting, a comment was made by Beverly Epstein regarding the budget. Let me clarify. The deed restriction says prior to the end of the BCPO fiscal year, the board shall prepare a budget. Per
Are
our,
we really going to go down that road? Really, do you want to?
It's director's comments, there's nothing in the bylaws or rules or regulations that says a director cannot make a comment, what he can say or he can't say.
When you put down residents that say something when they come and stop, that's not right. That's not right.
Avoid saying names
That's correct.
can I continue?
Yes.
Or tell me yes or no? I'll give you all respect, I won't say anybody's names. Is that easy? Here we go again. The August 3rd board meeting, a comment was made regarding the budget. Let me clarify. The deed restriction says, prior to the end of the BCPO's fiscal year, the board shall prepare a budget. Per our SOPs, the board has established an advisory committee that makes recommendations to the board. Always said to the board. I do not see anything in the Florida statutes about finance committees. The 2001 budget has suggested for the finance committee, after consulting with the attorney, could not be included in the budget due to the change that hence we couldn't make it in time. Also, let me address the concern over reallocation of reserve spread. Per Florida statute 720.303, parentheses 6, parentheses G, parentheses 2, the amount of the contribution to be pooled reserve account is disclosed on the budget proposed may not be less than required to ensure the balance on hand at the beginning of the period the budget will go into effect plus the projected annual cash inflows over the remaining estimated life of all the assets that make up the pool reserve, or equal to or greater than the projected annual cash flow over the remaining estimated useful lives. Per the reserve study, clubhouse roof was scheduled repair in 2019 for $150,000. There was not enough money in the clubhouse element for that repair, so per Florida statute, the reserve element must be adjusted, and last year's board made that surely happen. Further, asked me, I would appoint my finance committee, certain people, blank, blank, blank. I never disbanded the current committee, so no changes happened. Thank you very much.
Larry, you got anything else?
I just want to reiterate what I'd said out there at our workshop. We're working on the budget. We'll have it done. We have to turn it in on September 7th. The finance committee's working on that, and they'll have it done by then. Your HOA fee will go up. It's not, will it go up? It will go up. And the reason it's going up, again, for people that don't know, which I can't believe there's anybody sitting in here that doesn't know it, but maybe out in TV land. The state of Florida raised their minimum wage. It goes up to $10 September 30th of this year, $11 September 30th next year, and every year, September 30th until it's $15 an hour. Now, this year, it's gonna go up. I won't give you a number, but I'll tell you it's somewhere between 1 and 100. I shouldn't have said that, I'm sorry. But that's why it's going up. But when the budget comes out and you all get a chance to vote on it, if the board approves it, and you get a chance to vote on it, you'll see the projection, you'll see what we are budgeting for 2022 compared to 2021. And there's very little difference other than in wages, and that's where the whole money is. I believe one department we have, I think there's around 27 people that'll go from minimum wage to like $9.15 to $10 starting in October this year. Then next year they'll be at $11. So it adds up. The money adds up in wages, and that's where it's really at. I just want everybody to know that. I'm not trying to scare you or anything else. I just want everybody aware. So when the budget comes out, you'll have an idea that it'll be a little higher, your HOA fees. Thank you.
And we'll be having meetings on it, specifically on it too. Yes?
Yes.
Kim?
Okay, I've got a couple of things. No budget stuff, none of that other stuff. Beautification Committee. The Beautification Committee is looking at doing something when you come at the intersection of Brookridge Central and Brookridge Boulevard, when you come to the stop sign, that island there and across from there, we're looking to have, we had Jim Peck from Peck's Landscaping come down and give us, I think there was 6 of us there in the rain, looking at what we could possibly do. We've got about $2,300, and so he is going to be looking for us. We only have about $2,300 in the donation in our fund, and we're hoping if everybody could give $5 or $10, we'd have $300 or $400 to get the rest of that done. And I think that it's pretty common knowledge that the job that was done at the new sign and how those flowers have come up, that was Jim Peck's Landscaping that did that. And he comes down, he checks them out all the time, and if there's something going on, he will call us and tell us, this is what you need to do. So I think that we can all agree, most of us, some of us maybe, that we have a really beautiful front sign and coming into Brookridge, and we'd like to extend that once you come in. So that is one of them. The other one is the unit reps. All these ladies and gentlemen that sit over here, they are our unit, actually your unit reps. And what I'd like to do is I would like to introduce all of them, and I'm going to tell you which unit they are in and how you can tell which unit you're in if you don't know. If you look at your 6 number, UBL number, it'll begin with a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 6. That is your unit number. That's how it's, the UBL is the unit, block, and lot, according to the county. So I'm just going to, and I'll just have them either stand or wave so you know who your unit reps are. And what the unit reps do is, when we have new people coming into the neighborhood, we've had a rough year because of COVID. They're starting to go out to actually speak with the people again, but they call the new people, see how they're doing, if they need anything, if you need any help, they're the ones to contact. So first we have Beverly Epstein. She is the chairman and she is in Unit 6. Then we have Hope Campbell. Hope, you gotta wave so people can see you. Okay. Hope Campbell is also for Unit 6. Peggy Christie is not here. She's on vacation. I hope that she can see out of her eye because she fell 2 days before she got on that plane. But Peggy's in Unit 1. Paul Campbell, our co-chair, our gentleman, the only one brave enough to do this yet. He is taking care of Unit 1. Vicky, is Vicky here? No, okay, Vicky wasn't here either. She is Unit 2. Linda Toporski is Linda. She is in Unit 2. We have Mary Smith in Unit 3. We have Delane Sapp in Unit 3. There's Delane. We have Michelle Adams in Unit 4. Is Michelle here? She's on vacation too. Then we have Sandy Const. She is in Unit 4. And then Vicki Weiser is in Unit 4. And Vicki was out for quite a while and we're glad to see her back. And we have a pretty good unit rep presentation. And they are working. Oh, did I forget somebody? Yeah. Who did I forget? Linda DeVos. She's our secretary. I am so sorry. We saved the best for last. And she takes care of Unit 4. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, the only thing I have left is news and views. It's looking real good. It's all colored. It's got a few little glitches here and now. Don't everybody freak out when they see one ad that's upside down. That guy did it intentionally. So if you just want to see that ad, just draw attention to his ad. So.
We have an upside down ad?
Yeah. He went that way. It's a dollar bill ad. It's plum place, so he gets your attention. So that's all I have. So next we'll go with member comments or if anybody has any comment on anything. Yeah. Come on up.
Joanne Burns, Unit 4. I have a suggestion, okay? The guard shack up front, okay? With the COVID, if they're not accepting cash, which I'm not even sure if that's true, in the office, COVID is rampant right now in Hernando County. Why are we handing out those passes? I get it, okay, that we want to know where everybody is, but we also know that those passes at the guard shack, okay, we can really go anywhere in Brookridge once we have those passes. People are not taking them. I can't tell you how many people in my family that refuse to even touch those passes.
Okay, those passes are laminated and they're clean, those passes are.
It doesn't matter, honestly, Jerry.
It's an option that they take them or not take them. It's not a have to thing. And besides, you got reminding people no speeding, no stopping. I mean, you got to stop at stop signs and they have to remind them that the resident gets fined if they get caught speeding. That's what it's all about.
I understand, but
They don't have to take it. That's not an option that they're forced into taking it.
They're cleaned, they're actually cleaned before
And
they
laminated,
leave.
yes.
But even for our own, I mean, they are our residents also, the guards, and we should be protecting them too. I mean, they should be
They're wearing
taught.
gloves and masks as far as I know they are.
I know, but I'm just saying, okay, it is rampant right now, and maybe they should be given the option, if they don't want to have to give them out, they should.
Thank you.
Yes. Come on.
My name is Anthony Langone, I'm Unit 3. I had a meeting with Jerry, Gail, and Carol. in April about some code enforcement. And evidently you never did nothing about it. You didn't do nothing about it, and Carol didn't. I turned to code enforcement for harassing me, also stalking me and my girlfriend. And you people said you were gonna get back to me, you never did. Now Greg Schubert is harassing me with these violations that are already done. He wants a meeting tomorrow with the, this is already done and over with. How could he bring up something that is done and over with? What they are doing now is harassing. You, Jerry, were at that meeting, hold it, didn't say one word.
Okay, you understand violation when you get.
You didn't say one word. Gail did all the talking, and so did Carol. You didn't write nothing down. Now, one thing, and Carol said to you, Jerry, you have anything to say to him? You said no.
I'm listening to you and besides.
You already thinking that you shouldn't have been there.
Make an excuse for writing things down.
This is bogus.
Because I had a stroke and I can't
Well,
write things down.
in other words,
So.
your code enforcement could come and
That's
stalk
not
you,
necessary.
and you do nothing about it.
Okay.
No,
We-
nothing was done.
We are, if you have a violation,
My violation's done. It's been done. He's going back a year. If you want to read this, I want you to look at it
because that's when you go to the appeal process.
tomorrow.
Okay. Are you going to it tomorrow?
Well, I have to go to it. Well, I'm going to get fined
Okay.
for something that I'm getting stalked and harassed. And what did you do about it, Gail? What did you do? Nothing. Did you ever get back to me like you said you would? Yes or no? Answer the
It
yes.
was, I did not say that I would get back to you.
Yes, you
We
did. You said you would look into it and you and Carol would get back to me. So in other words, you never got back to me.
Well, I'm not going to discuss that because that
Why
was.
not? This
that
is
was
open for
discussed in
discussion.
private. This is discussion, yes, it is.
So
This
in other
is
words,
member
you're going to code
comments.
enforcement, walk around, harass people, and also, they can't stalk you. You want them to come to your house and stalk you?
Everyone's opinion is a little
Oh,
bit
really?
different. And
So if they come and stalk you, if I come and stalk you, what would you do?
that is not a discussion that we have here,
Why isn't it?
because that is not a discussion.
Because you don't know how to
we have
answer the
here.
question. And you're speaking for Jerry. Why don't Jerry speak?
I'm not speaking for Jerry.
Yes, you do.
You're
Let him
Please
speak.
do-
Well, he should
have a
answer
li-
something too. He's not answering me one word. He's reading a letter. And I think that should be dismissed.
Well, it goes to the appeal process for one thing, and number two, I know that this is not your first violation, because there's been other violations where you left a trailer sitting on somebody's
That trailer,
property.
it's
that was
gone.
Not your property, and it was also, I know, because I do the RV compound, that you've got space, 2 trailers in that RV compound, and you don't use 2 spaces. Sometimes you use just one, and sometimes, I saw you the other morning bring a trailer over there early in the morning, so.
Oh, you really?
somewhere
When did you
on
see
my
me do
lawn.
that, Jerry? I don't even have a truck. How could you see me do it?
Because I'm sitting over on the next aisle over, writing down trailer tag numbers.
Really? What was I driving, Jerry?
And you backed in there, you were driving a U-Haul pickup.
That's right. And where'd I take the trailer to, Jerry?
You put it in space back, but. it
So in
wasn't
other words,
there
you're
when I got
stalking
there.
me
I got
too.
there early in the morning. I'm not gonna have to stuff.
You're stalking me too.
You can
So
go
in other
to-
words, you don't want to do
can go
nothing
to-
about it, so the best thing to do is go to the police department and file a complaint about stalking.
If somebody's writing you a violation, that don't mean they're stalking you.
They've been stalking me and you did nothing about it, and you don't
We
want to
need
do
to
nothing
take
about it.
that, this discussion, your 3 minutes are up, please.
Thank you. You don't want to do nothing about it. How come you didn't even talk to me? You're supposed to be for the people. You're not. Gail is doing the work. You're her puppet.
Oh, please
That's all you
don't.
are.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please, that's it.
I'm done
Jerry
anyway.
works very hard. He doesn't have to take notes,
He don't work
Anthony.
hard. You do the work, whatever he says.
Okay, member comments, anybody else? Okay, on the second row, Dave.
Dave Fagan, Unit 1, representing the men's club for Brookridge. A couple announcements to make. The men's club will be holding a yard sale on Saturday, September 18th, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., setup will be from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Tables are available at $10 apiece. Okay, sorry about that. Also, on Saturday, October 23rd, there'll be a Halloween party from 7 p.m. to 10 a.m. Entertainment will be by Little Miss Dynamite, BYOB, your own bottle, and your own snacks. Fee of that will be $10 a person, and we're going to go as a masquerade party because of COVID, so everybody can wear their mask. We will have.
That was perfect, Dave.
Thank you.
Master.
And we will have prizes for the best costume, but not for the mask. And one other thing, we have a wagon of cheer, which is sitting in the back of the room here. Tickets are $5 a piece or 5 for $20, and that'll be raffled off at the Halloween party. And don't forget Santa breakfast in December. More on that in the news and views. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Any questions?
Okay, you got a question right behind you. Come up, sir.
Thank you. My name is Mike Garantano. I'm in Unit 2. I don't know if this is a comment and observation on your discussion about the voting process or a question to the board, but with everything that's been talked about, possible tampering and or ballot spoilage, if you will, for lack of a better term, why in the Sam hell are we talking about a cardboard box with a slit in it to put these ballots, and somebody comes at some point and puts them in a lockbox? Why aren't they going in from the resident member into a lockbox right from the get-go? Why would we ever use a cardboard box with a slit?
Mike,
I'm sorry, but that sounds, as a voter and a resident, that seems ridiculous to me.
Mike, that's something that the election committee will look at also. Yes.
That's why I wanted to bring it up, because I know you're going to meet with Mary, and
Yep.
I would pose that question. Why would we do that?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, any other member comments out there, please? Yes, come on up, Ron.
Thank you. Ron Ross, Unit 6. I just wanted to bring the board and residents up to date a little bit on fish, just so they got an idea of what's going on with fish this month. This month, during the month of August, we had 3 different calls for help for people just to go visit them. We matched all 3 of those people up. They now have people going to visit with them on a regular basis. We had a call on one of our residents that had a roof leak, and we arranged for a contractor to come in and to fix that roof for us. We had call for computer help. We were able to help that person take care of their computer problems. First time I ever set up 2 screens. It was really weird looking to do that. We had a call for lawn mowing. We had 2 of our residents that stepped up, went in and spent about 3 hours cleaning the lawn up, taking care of things, and then we had another resident that stepped up and said they would, because of the financial problem the person was having, they would make sure that lawn was taken care of on a consistent basis. We had a call for food box delivery, and we did deliver that. And while I'm talking about food, the food bank still has a lot of food that we want to give out. Just again, to bring it up, I know that at the last meeting, it was brought up to the attention, but state of Florida has canceled the COVID state of emergency. So we've got residents that were receiving extra funds. One of the people that I spoke with, their funds were being reduced from $242 a month to $16 a month. And they're scrambling, trying to find food. We were able to help them with food, and we'll continue to do it. we do know and realize there are a lot of people in here that have had reduced incomes. So if y'all know them, please contact us. Yeah, what the heck? Please contact us and let us know so we can get them food. If you're interested in being involved with the fish group, our next meeting is September the 6th, which is a Monday, 4 o'clock, here at the clubhouse down in room E. We continue to work with people, help everybody in Brookridge that we can. Just wanted to give you some positive news.
Ron, before you leave, you said, you had 3 people that somebody goes to visit. Is that, could you give, what do you mean by visit? You mean people that are by themselves, elderly that?
We've got people, that live in here that are kind of shut in. They maybe
Okay.
don't drive, not able to get out as much.
Okay.
We've got one lady, as a matter of fact, I'm still looking for somebody that will go in with this one resident here. They would like somebody to come visit with them and just watch a little bit of TV with them during the day.
Okay.
I do that, but my wife would get upset. She'll want me to watch TV with her. So I'm not getting in trouble there. But we do get a number of calls with people that they're lonely, they're by themselves. They just want to be able to get out. We've been able to give people rides to doctors. We've got agreements that we sign with them. We got agreements that we sign when we go in and do work for them. And like I say, I got a contractor that I know of that's done work for me. We got him to come in and go to these people's house. The entire covering over his laundry room was gone. And they replaced it and sealed it all up and gave him no leaks anymore. So we're able to get a lot of different things done. So
We have to really talk that up in the news and views too, so that more people will know that there is help in here, and I commend you and that whole group.
Well, we've got a great group of volunteers, about 37 people on the list right now that get emails that work with the fish group. So it goes in from there. We'll start collecting food again this fall to build the food bank back up. So again, thank you, and thank you to all the residents of Brookridge that have helped with that.
Any other comments from the residents? Yes, come on up.
Hi, my name is Kathy. I live on Rialto Drive. I just moved here June 25th. I have called about a rat problem with the house next door to me. Okay, I had to cut bushes that belong to my neighbor that doesn't even live there, hasn't been there in a year, and I had rats running over my feet. Okay, nothing was addressed. I was told to call Hernando. You know what they told me? Get more cats. Okay? On the right-hand side of my house, they're not there either. And with all this rain, their land is running into my land. I want to put cinder blocks or something down the side of my property so I can keep my property. So I'd like somebody to come by and look and see what I want to do.
Okay. Kathy, can you do us a favor? If you could give your name and your phone number and your address to Miss Arlene over there.
It's a beautiful development,
Yeah,
but I'm not real happy right now.
we want you to be happy, so.
And with this lady, what she's talking about, I work in the healthcare. There's 41 cases in Hernando alone. I agree with you.
Yes, there is. We know.
Any other comments? I see a large hand, so. I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then just your last name. Thank you so much.